What's up guys, welcome to the channel, and in today's video we are going to discuss how import works in Python. Now guys, I'm the one who keeps on telling you that you don't have to name a file after a module, and I'm the person who keeps on telling you that we should not believe in something until someone has not given a proof about that. So guys, in today's video I'm going to give you the proof of why we should not name a Python file after a module. So I'm quickly going to make a new Python file right here. And guys, there are many modules in Python, for example sklearn, pandas, and there is a hierarchy of fetching for the Python files, because when we import our Python files, like for example sklearn, pandas, the Python, it goes into a certain directory, and after that, from that it starts its hierarchy of fetching the files. So right now I'll name this file as more on import, and as you can see my Python file is opened here. So guys, when I write import sklearn, as you can see, I've told Python to fetch for sklearn, that is a module. So now what Python does is that it goes into my directory right here, it goes into my main directory, and after that it starts a hierarchy. Now what is a hierarchy? It goes from one place to another until it finds the model. So it will go from YouTube tutorials, and after that it will go into my main directory, and then it will go into python.exe, and after that it will go into libs, dict, and scripts of Python. So these are some of the directories in which our Python goes one by one, and this is how basically importing works, because right here, as you can see, I have written import sklearn, so that is in the global scope. For example, if I write sklearn.py inside the global scope right here, then when I write import sklearn, my Python file right here, it will fetch the sklearn.py file from this directory that I don't want it to. So for example, if I write print sklearn.version, so we can basically fetch the version of sklearn, and if I run this program right here, as you can see, it has printed, it is fetching the file, so it will print its version right here. So the version is 0.23.2, and this is basically the version of the sklearn that I am using right now. And sklearn is basically something that's used in machine learning. And guys, how importing works in Python is that many beginners, they don't care about the hierarchy. They just make files before a module's name, and after that they give me an error and say that Flask is not importable, or sklearn or sys is not importable. But they don't see that they have made the Python file after the module name. So guys, for that purpose, in order to show you how the hierarchy works, I'm going to write import sys, and after that I'm going to write sys.path. So sys.path right here, it gives us the path hierarchy from which our Python fetches the modules. So if I run this program right here, as you can see, it is given us a list. So this list right here, the first element, C users, Unch, Python projects, YouTube tutorials. So our Python first goes into this directory in order to fetch the module, and if it does not get anything, after that it goes to the second element, that is YouTube tutorials, and if it does not get anything in that, it will go into python38.zip, and after that it will go into dlls, then lib, then users, and after that it will go into site packages, and just like that it goes into different directories in order to get our module. So as you can see, if I, for example, if I had written import sklearn, and if the whole sklearn module, if it had been present in my YouTube tutorials, wouldn't a Python take less time in order to import the sklearn? Yes guys, it would have definitely taken less time, because I believe that my sklearn module is present somewhere in the DLLS or lib, and that would definitely reduce the time in order to import a module. So now guys, I'll talk about some different modules. For example, if we have to import some class from a module, for example, I'll write from sklearn dot ensemble. Now this is a class in sklearn, and after that I'm importing a function named random forest classifier. Now as you can see guys, that I've written from sklearn dot ensemble import random forest classifier. So if I print random forest classifier, and this is basically a function in which the it uses the ensemble data set, that is, it uses the ensemble class. And what ensemble class does is that it is used in machine learning purposes. It takes votes from different classes, and after that, based on the voting, it takes a decision on the data set. But I'm not here to teach you machine learning, so I'm going to run this program right here. And as you can see that it will fetch the random forest classifier inside the sklearn's class ensemble. So that's how importing basically works in Python. And if I, for example, if I comment this out, and now if I make a new Python file right here, so I'm making a new Python file inside my directory, inside my main directory, as you can see, and I'll name this file as file2. So as you can see, my file2 has opened, and now if I write a is equal to 7, and if I go back to my more on import files, and if I write import file2, as you can see, it won't give me an error because it fetched the file inside this directory. It works like that. So as you can see, I've written import file2, and if I print file2.h, it will give me an error because h is not present. If I run it, as you can see, the file2 attribute does not have h, so it has the a attribute. So I'm going to write a, and it won't give me an error because I have accessed the a element. But guys, now you can write that is, now you can import a with the help of this. So I can write from file2 import a. So now I'll just have to write a instead of the file2.a. And guys, this is not a good practice. As you can see, if I run this program, it will print the a. But for example, if you have another file named file3, and if it has an a variable inside it, and if you write from file3 import a, and if you write print a, the Python will get confused that which variable should it fetch from. Is it file2 or file3? And it will basically get confused. So I recommend you to write import file2, and from that you can get the variables, for example file2.a, and this is a better method than the from file2 import a. So I hope guys that you understood that how we can import the files. And guys, now comes the main part, that is, if I write a function right here, that is, I'll write func, and it takes in a str. So if I print this is a func, and after that I'll print the str. So if I go back to my Python file, and if I write import file2, and if I print file2 dot func, Ansh is a good boy, and if I run this program right here, as you can see, it won't give me an error, but it has given me a none because it isn't returning something. So I'll write return, and if I rerun the more on import file, as you can see, it hasn't print anything. Okay, so it will return this. So I'll write return. Okay, so if I run this program, as you can see, it has printed this is a func, and Ansh is a good boy, but it has printed it in a tuple, so no worries. And as you can see guys, that we had imported a function from the file2. And guys, you can do this, for example, any function that you like in Python. For example, there's random forest classifier. You can go on to the Python package, and after that you can copy that function and you can paste it right here. Whatever functions you like, you can make your own custom functions, and you can store it in a file. And for example, if you are using it in a project, so you can keep that in a directory, or else you can keep that in the main directory. That is, for example, you can keep it on DLLS. And we saw a couple of directories right here when we ran sys.path. So you can keep inside one of those directories, and then you can access your file in which you have your preferred functions. So that's guys how import works in Python. And now is the main thing that I keep on telling you, that you should not make a new Python file. But guys, for example, if I make a new Python file, and if I write sklearn, so as you can see guys, that I've made a Python file and I've named it sklearn. That's a module name. And if I copy the statement, that is from sklearn ensemble import random forest classifier, and if I paste it here, and if I run this program right here, as you can see, it is giving me an error. It is telling me that no module named is sklearn ensemble, and sklearn is not a package basically, so ensemble does not exist. So guys, why is it showing me? First of all, as you can see, we are inside the YouTube tutorials directory. So my Python, it will go into this directory, and after that it will check that is there any module or is there any file named as sklearn. So as you can see, it has fetched this file, and it won't get anything because we have just made this .py file right here. And guys, I hope that you understood that why we should not make a Python file name after a module name. And for example, if I uncomment this and if I run this as well, it will give me an error because it cannot find the sklearn.ensemble package. So that's why guys, we should not make our Python file names after our module names. And I hope guys that you understood why that's the case. So I'll delete this file and I'll click on OK. And guys, basically that's how importing works in Python. And this is a bit advanced level, but guys, for the beginners who are watching this video, if you listen to me carefully and if you watch this video carefully, I'm pretty sure that you won't get any difficulties. And even if you get it, you can comment it down inside this video, and I'm there to help you guys. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I hope you understood today's video about how importing works and why you should listen to me. And thank you so much guys for watching this video. I hope you're safe, and I'll see you next time.